Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Fit Chicks Chat. My name's Laura Jackson.
And I'm Amanda Quinn.
And on today's episode, first of all, I'm going to apologize because I've been battling a cold, so I'm extremely croaky and I keep having like something in my voice will
Same,
cut out. So, for
same,
anyone who's
same.
listening to this, our apologies.
Yeah, if we're like sniffling and coughing into the mic, we do apologize. That was actually me last week too. In my episode I recorded on my own, I was literally coughing and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I sounded all like raspy. I didn't even sound like myself. I feel a little better today though, so I'm like less
I know there's
less
stuff going
irritated.
around.
Hmm.
But on today's episode, we are talking about the business of holistic nutrition and weight loss coaching.
Hmm.
So, I'm excited to be talking about this because number one, we are counting down. We are in the official countdown to our next 8 week certification that starts on March 4th. So, if you've been following us for a while, you know we've been talking a lot more about holistic coaching and all of the amazing things you can do with it for yourself, or if you decide you want to become a coach or in your business. But also because I just love talking about business. I think business is one of those things that, you know, it's to me, it's how I express and my creativity to the world because I can't sing and I can't dance, but also it's to me my contribution to the world. So I always feel like as a coach, you can make such a huge contribution because you're giving people health. You're helping people live healthier lives, which then in turn, when your body is healthy, you can show up better in all areas of your life, not just, you
Hmm.
know what I mean, like your relationships, your physique, your work, like all of it. But you're also just giving people something that, to me isn't valuable. So I just feel like whenever I talk about business, that's what I think about. I think about business is the vehicle of making your contribution to the world as a coach. So I think more
Well, that's
coaches should
beautiful.
love business.
That's beautiful. I love that. And I think that most coaches it's like one of the areas that they struggle with the most because they have like this knowledge and they have this passion when it comes to health coaching or holistic nutrition or nutrition coaching or working with clients, whether they're, osteopaths or chiro or whatever it is, like whatever sort of their pathway is that they're contributing to the world when it comes to health, but they don't know how to maybe market, sell, or provide a service or a product or an offer. And so then they have this beautiful craft that they want to give, but they don't know how to give it. And so that's why I feel like you want to be equally obsessed with the idea of learning business as you are with your craft, because it will only benefit not only your business, but your clients, because they do go hand in hand. Like your clients can't find you if you don't know how to market. And then think about how many people we've talked to, like over the years, like all the coaches that'll come into our world and be like, I have no idea, I have all this information, I have all this knowledge, but I have no idea how to even find a client. Right. And
100%.
that's where they get stuck all the time, which is why I think this conversation is important, because I think it's, and not only important, but exciting, because it's like talking about like, okay, what can you do? What can you do as a coach? If you were someone listening right now and you're a coach and you're feeling stuck, or you're an aspiring coach who's like, I love this stuff so much and I know I want to do it, but my fear is that I'll have all this knowledge stuck in my brain and it'll be stuck in my brain forever because I don't know how to express it to the world. I don't know how to get it out to the world.
Well, and this is something that I always find really interesting, and I see this a lot when not just in our certifications, but even when I was in school for nutrition or for fitness or for like any of my health coaching certifications, because I've got so many of them, life coaching, all of it, right? People get so obsessed with the coaching part of it, which you should be, right? Like you got to love what you're doing to be able to do it. But then there's so many people who say, "Oh, but I don't care about business. I don't want to learn business. I just want to coach. I just want to,
Yeah.
coach on nutrition. I just want to run group coaching programs. I want to do one-on-one sessions. I want to run workshops." They just want to do the act of the coaching, which is amazing. And you have to be an amazing coach. I always say there's two things you have to have, right, to be able to be a successful coach. You have to have the skill set of coaching and you have to be good at it to get your clients results, because people aren't going to hire you if you can't get them results and then you don't have, you know what I mean? Like, not necessarily when you're first starting, you don't have proven results, but they're hiring you for a result. So you have to be great at the skill set of coaching. But the second thing you have to be great at is the skill set of business, because business is essentially the way that you're going to attract those clients into those workshops and coaching programs and all the things that you really want to do. And I think that when we get into the mindset, even from the beginning, that I just want to coach, I don't want to do business, then what happens is you are already pushing away the opportunity to grow. And then very quickly, your coaching becomes frustrating because you have no one to coach. Right. So then you can't
Mhm.
practice and hone your skills. So it has to go hand in hand. And I saw this a lot too. I was saying, like in the certifications I took, that's what people were saying. But also, the certifications were not including anything about business. So, especially in
Mhm.
my nutrition certification that I went to, there was so many people in this program. It was an in-person school. So I had to go, to school in person. It wasn't online. But there were so many people in this program. And if I look at, and I'm going to estimate the stats just because I talked to a lot of people who went to that school and see a lot of the Facebook groups and things like that, but about 90% of them are not doing anything with their certifications. They went to school to
That's
be a
so sad.
nutritionist, and they are either working at a health food store or have gone back to working, a lot of them in restaurants, bars, full-time jobs, having this passion because they don't know the business side of it. So that's why when we developed our certifications, we offer two levels. So one is the level one, which is just a certification, and level two is the certification plus a business portal that includes all of your done for you programs, all of your marketing materials, tons of stuff in there to help teach you how to actually market and sell and grow a business. Because it's, to me, it's such a disservice, right? Like we've got all these amazing coaches who have this skill set that will change the world, like literally can change the health of the world, but they have no idea how to get it out in the world. So it's
Mm.
like you've got to do them hand in hand. So that's my rant.
Yeah.
That's my rant about
No,
business and
no, no,
coaching.
and I totally agree with you. It's like there's a direct correlation. I think that we should dive into that though, right? We should dive into the idea of like, okay, so, when people are thinking, I want to become a coach and I want to be doing these things, what are the pieces that I'm missing when it comes to business? What are the pieces of the puzzle that you're talking about? Like when you said, with our level two, we have these done for you models and we have these challenges and we have all these materials. Let's dive into those a little bit more because I think also understanding how each of those pieces fit into the puzzle to make it like a holistic program and to give you all of the tools. Because again, there's also coaches that are like, okay, I have all this knowledge and I'm just going to offer one-to-one coaching. And then that's it, right? And
Yeah.
they don't know. And then they're just like, I'm going to just post it on social media and I'm going to hope that like my friends sign up for it or my friends tell a family member to sign up. And then I get this handful of clients and then they start out that way, which is great. But it's like, how do you then take that and grow that and make the impact that you strive to make from the
Well,
beginning?
and make the income that you strive to make. Like that's a big thing
Totally.
too. And I mean, you and I have always talked very openly about money. And, the whole thing of becoming a coach too, if you want this to be your business, is it has to generate revenue. Like it's got, if not,
Yeah.
it's a hobby, right? And we want to be able to support ourselves. And if we want to grow a multi-million dollar business and that's our goal, we want to be able to do that too, right? Or if we want a part-time business that just generates a couple extra $100 a month, for a lot of us, especially in this climate, having something that you could do online that you love that can generate, you know what I mean, between two and five hundred
$500
dollars
a month.
extra a month is life changing, right?
Hmm.
So I think the first thing, honestly, is what I was just saying at the beginning is mindset. You have to look at your mindset around your business, right? So when it comes to the business of holistic nutrition coaching, weight loss coaching, the first thing you do is you have to look at your relationship and your thoughts about business. So as I was saying
Hmm.
earlier, right? Like if you're one of those people who's like, I just want to coach, I don't want anything to do with business, that's going to be a massive block for you growing in business because you're not curious about it, you're not open to it, it's a negative thing in your mind already. So that's the first place I would start is like, okay, what is my thoughts about business? Am I scared of it? Does it feel overwhelming? Do I think that I'm not going to be able to learn the tech? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Does
have
it
I
feel like an
identified myself as a
uncertain place?
non-business person?
Hmm.
And
Well,
just
even if
get
you think
curious about that.
about, yeah, well, even if you think about like even in our business, right? We can use a great example of that when we were scaling our business and growing we talked about how the idea of we want to grow our business, we want to scale it, we want to continue to build and grow it. But then the conversation was always, but we don't want to hire more people. We didn't want to people manage. We were afraid of the idea of stepping into that leadership role at a certain level. And it was like, wait a second, we have to look at that because if we want to grow our business, we can do a lot as two individuals, but we can't do it all. And we need to have amazing staff and support staff and all of these things in place to be able to grow it to the vision that we wanted. And we had to take a look, like a hard look at like, okay, that message that we're telling ourselves and that we're telling each other is not serving us for the purpose that we want it to. How do we shift that so that we can then actually get to the goal that we want? And I feel like as soon as you really look at the conversations that you're having with yourself, that internal dialogue or the things that you're saying out loud, that's when you can actually recognize like, is that a true statement? Is it a not true statement? And if it is a true statement, then your goals will not align with that statement. So then you maybe have to change your goals, right? Because if that really
Well,
feels true to you, then that's okay. But you have to be okay with that answer to yourself. And
and
if
I
not, then
start
you have to be able to shift to change everything else.
completely, and I always start with any, even in coaching, I always, because your thoughts drive your actions and your actions create your results, right? What we do creates our results. But
Yeah.
what we do and what we don't do is driven by what we think. So even in coaching, like coaching a client, it's like, first of all, what are their thoughts about weight loss? What are their thoughts about nutrition? What are their thoughts about their ability to reach their goals? And it's the same thing with business. Like if you think, if you're like, I want a business, but you don't even look at what you think about business and you don't realize, oh, I don't think I can actually run a business. Business feels overwhelming. Those thoughts will prevent you from growing. And even now to this day, we still do it with our business, right? There's thoughts that I even or feel like thoughts that pop up out of nowhere that I examine and I'm like, "Oh, that's I'm saying I want to grow, but then this happened and the
Hmm.
thought came up, well, maybe I don't want to do this." And I'm like, "That's interesting." So it's just the first thing is just looking at what you're thinking because your thoughts will drive your actions, actions create your results. So if you're thinking, I'm terrible at tech and business is not for me, then your action will probably be not to go out and build a business. And this is the hard part too. I was talking about this the other day with one of our students. It's like, when you're on a diet, like if you've ever done a crazy restrictive diet, let's say the cabbage
Hmm.
soup diet, and you're like, okay, I'm going on this diet, and it's like I'm only eating cabbage soup. And then you suddenly go to the cupboard and you eat a bag of chips. But you're still thinking, I'm on the diet. I've got to be on this cabbage soup diet. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, even though you're not on the diet, or like today I'm taking a cheat day, you're still always thinking about the diet. So even though you're not following the diet, you're not doing the diet, you feel like you're on the diet all the time, even when you're eating other food that's off the diet, right?
Hmm.
Because that's the diet mentality. When you have something that you're like, oh, I have to do this, or it consumes your thoughts 24/7, you feel like you're always working. So it's the same thing with business. If you're always thinking about your business, but you're not taking action on your business, it's just as draining as if you were actually working in your business, but you're not getting any results because you're not doing any action. You're just
Yeah.
thinking these negative thoughts. So it's like the same, like that's why people are like, I'm just so exhausted. I'm always on a diet. When I'm like, when I actually look at what they're eating day to day, I'm like, you're actually not. You know what I mean? Or like, I'm so exhausted of being on this program, but they're actually not on the program. They've just been thinking about it. And that's what burns us out. So if we
Hmm.
don't understand what we're thinking, we can't change that, which again will either is a huge indicator. And I can tell right away by the way I ask people at their business if they're going to be more likely or less likely to be successful because of the way they talk about it, and that's their thoughts, right? So the
So
first thing I would say is
fascinating.
to look at your thoughts around it.
Yeah.
The
Always your thoughts. Your
second,
thoughts are like your thoughts are going to be the driving force behind any kind of success, whether it's your own health journey, your business, your coaching, whatever it is. And the same thing for your clients. So
yeah, like if
I
you're
love
thinking
that
about
as
your business
important
all
number
day
one.
long and but you're not doing anything on it, you're going to feel like this business is so draining. I hate this business, but because you're
It's
not
like
getting
when
any
people
results
make
from it.
to-do lists. It's like when people make to-do lists and then they like look at their to-do list. And I've totally been guilty of this, right? Where I'll like make a list of all the things I have to do. And then I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so much. And then I sit there thinking about how much work it is instead of just doing the thing.
Yeah,
Right. How many times have you caught yourself doing that, Laura? Like just curious. Cause I know I don't do it really anymore. Like I'm a lot more
I
like
don't have a to-do
aware
list
of
anymore.
it.
Yeah.
No, but like I'm more aware of it now. I always write down 3 things and I'm like, I'm accomplishing these 3 things today. That's like my to-do list. It's just my accomplishment goals of the day. But when I used to write it out and I would look at it and I was like, it's like 7 pages long. Like and I'd be like flipping pages and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I would go into like this huge drama around it and be like, it's too much. I can't do it. And then I would
I
like
know.
completely do something different. Like I'd be like, I'm gonna go do my laundry. You know what I mean? And like not serving the purpose whatsoever. But I feel like that's so common. And I'm sharing this with everyone listening because I'm like, if that is you, just know that that is super common. And so you have to
Oh
look
yeah.
at that though, and you have to recognize, okay, that's what I'm doing. So how do I change that? What is the thing that I need to do to shift into action versus sitting in like this overwhelmed state or this thoughts around overwhelm
Well,
and
and
not
that's the
actually,
simplest
because it's
thing.
still, like you said, it's still exhausting. You're still like, oh my
It's
gosh.
more
And I'm like
exhausting.
doing the laundry and I'm like, I still have to go do the work. You know what I mean? And like your brain is like wrestling itself almost, going
It's
back
like
and forth,
binging
back
on the
and
ice
forth.
cream when you and then you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, I've gotta, be on see my health coach and I've got to be on this plan and blah, blah, blah." Instead of just being like, "I'm just gonna eat the ice cream and then I'm gonna move on to going back to eating my healthier habit." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. I just always find it so, and just a little hack too is that anytime you're in that to get out, to move anything forward takes action. Results
Yeah.
require action. So if you can just take yourself out of the head spin and do something, there actually are dopamine receptors that fire. There's a chemical reaction that happens to your brain. So if you ever feel like you're going, especially like anxious or stressed out or looping on, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming, just try to do something. Maybe it's write one email, do one social media post, but it shifts gears from like the fight or flight and the spinning into more of an empowered brain. So that's just something that's like a little hack. But anyways, the first thing about your business is to look at your thoughts about your business. So what are we thinking?
Mhm.
If you're thinking it's not possible for you, we got to clear that up. Which is why, too, in our certification in the level 2 option, we have business coaching calls and stuff like that to talk about the mindset and the method, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing to me when it comes to launching your business is you also have to have a realistic understanding of numbers. Now, I'm going to talk about how, because everyone wants to get to the how, but the first thing is I always think it's like, because business is a numbers game, right? So when you're first starting out, if you don't have an audience yet, you have to start to find people to sell stuff to. So people are like, I just want to coach, I just want to coach. And yeah, I have my business. But if no one knows about your business, it doesn't mean your business is bad. It doesn't mean your coaching is bad. It just means you don't have anyone yet to sell it to. So that's the second thing I would say. Look at your mindset. Then I would look at, do I have an audience already? Now, most people have an audience because they have already a network of friends and family members that they don't think of, right? Who then can tell their friends and family members. So we have in like our holistic nutrition weight loss coach certification, we have people who already are coaches who are looking to expand and they have already a business, like maybe they're a fitness coach and they're adding this into their business, or we have people who are brand new getting started into coaching. So just looking at what who you can sell to immediately, that would be my next thing. Understanding that, okay, if I only have a small audience, I'm probably only going to sell a few spots in my course while I build my audience, right? Like
Mhm.
that's my next place instead of getting to launching things, just looking at how big is my audience? Where are the people in my life right now? And don't just go cold on social media and post on your social media, expect people to sign up. Who are the people in my life that are already I have a relationship with that might want to join my programs? And then we can build from there. So that's the second thing I would actually look at.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's such a good way of doing it too, because then you're building momentum, right? And you're building confidence and you're building all of the things that you need when you're starting your business. So, and like the
Well, and it's
momentum side is like just having a couple of people even in something where you're just at least starting. Because if not, you're just going to sit there and you're going to like be sitting there thinking about, I've got to perfect this and I've got to perfect that and I've got to build out all of these pieces before I even get started. And then how do I even find my first clients and all this stuff? When if you just start, and you just begin the process. You can have a couple of people, even if it's two, that sign up with you, but you're building the momentum and then you can figure it out as you go along. And you don't have to worry about like having everything all lined up and in place before you actually take any action. Because when you wait and you keep waiting and waiting, this procrastination thing will just sit with you over and over and over again. And you'll probably get to a point where it'll be like a year later and you're like, oh my gosh, I still haven't done this thing.
well, and it goes back to the whole thing too of, I think when you're first starting out with something, we live in the world of the internet and instant gratification where people are posting, oh my God, I launched my first program. I have 100 clients. Like, we know that's not true. Like, you've got to build. And like, that's when people are first starting out with growing their coaching programs. You've got to get the foundation, which is why we teach and we talk about how to get your first 10 clients. Right? That's
Mhm.
the
My
first
first 10
goal is to get
client
your first
method,
10
my favorite
clients
thing.
in your new program. Again, whether you're already a coach or you're a new coach, that's the first goal is 10 because if we get 10, we can get 100, we can get 150. You know what I mean? Like it, but it's got to start with that first 10. And I think so many people, they skip already. So looking realistically at, okay, this is going to take some time and effort, but I'm going to focus on my first 10, then I'm going to move to the next one. Then my third thing when it comes to the
Agree.
business of holistic nutrition and weight loss coaching is to add in, so now we first is the mindset. The second is knowing, getting a realistic idea of knowing your audience and trying to get to your first 10. And then the third thing is really leveraging done for you programs. So
Hmm.
this is something, if you've been in Fit Chicks Academy for a while, if you've seen us, you know we love creating done for you resources, programs, coaching tools, challenges for our students and for coaches. And the reason we do that is because number one, I think it's one of our superpowers. I think we do it really, really, really well. And I could say that honestly, because I mean, our certifications are amazing, but not everybody, A, wants to take them, or B, is ready to take them yet. And there's a lot of coaches too who want to be able to implement some things into their business in a smaller way, or to do them for the people to do them for themselves. And I just feel like, we know because we've built two multi 7-figure businesses, one in person and one online. We know what it takes to get people into group coaching, into challenges, and what they want to see to get results. So I do believe we do it better than almost anyone. I'm just going to toot our own horn. And there's other great ones out there, but I'm just saying. But also, I think that for us, we're just so passionate about getting people out there coaching that that's why we've put a huge focus on including these done for you programs, because it's hard to keep mastering the marketing and building your skill set of coaching when you're also trying to build a whole program and design the materials and put it all together and figure out the emails and da 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 da. So if you can leverage a done for you program where you can take that and then run with it will save you so much time, stress, energy, and then you can just again sell that to your first 10 clients, then duplicate it. When you have a container like that, you can have 10 people in it, you can have 50 people in it, you can have 1,000 people in it, depending on how you structure it, right? But that container then is repeatable, so you don't have to continually create new programs. Like it just is a game changer. So
I
that's
feel like,
my
yeah.
thoughts.
No, I agree with you. And I think that having like proven models, like that was one of the things, right? Was taking the models that we already used in our business to help us build 7-figure businesses and then take them and repackage them in a way that others can then utilize them because they're not just things that are just like made up on the fly. Like these are actual proven models and systems. Like we know that this works. We know that we got clients results. We know that this created new revenue sources for our business. We know that these were lead generational tools and things like that. And like
We know these
just
get results
having
for your
something,
clients.
well, that's just it. Having something that you just know is like a proven system that you're like, I could take it and I can save myself the time and energy of creating it, but also even just the time and energy of sitting there going, what do I even need? Because there's nothing worse than graduating from a program, holding your piece of paper and going, okay, now what do I even do? Right. And then like you're sitting there and you're like, I actually don't even know my first step. Whereas if you have a model and it's like, so if you're listening right now and you're like either an aspiring coach or you're a coach and you're like, but that kind of feels like it's not my work. It 100% is you make it your own. You take the thing and you make it your own, but it's not like cheating. It's literally like a fast track system for you to be able to get your craft out to the world, to get yourself out to the world, to get your clients results. And then also it's a way that's just like, that you can still customize and you can still make it your own. And it's still going to like it doesn't matter. And this is the thing that I always want to remind people too is like I could teach a program and you could teach a program, Laura, and like we could be teaching like when we were teaching our Fitch's boot camp classes, we would teach the exact same class and it would feel like a completely different experience because of the way that we deliver the information. Same workout, same exercises, same system, same model, same flow of information felt completely different and unique because of who is delivering the information. So even if you're buying something and you're like, oh, well, this isn't I didn't create this, it's still going to be yours because you're going to deliver it your way. Even though there's like, in our programs, we obviously give you like how-to guides of how to execute it and all those kinds of things. It's still going to feel like your own because you're going to make it your own because of who you are. So
Well,
don't
and we
ever feel like
teach
it's
you
like
how
a
to make
fast
it your
track.
own. And like that's
Totally.
the thing too. So this is why like I'm so passionate about business. Like if anyone obviously before we used to do a lot more business podcasts and stuff like that. But those are my two passions, right? Number one is to help women get healthier. And the second is to help women become coaches to help their worlds become healthier, right? And they do that by getting
Our
out there and
mission.
coaching. So it's
Mhm.
like, to me, that's like I was saying in the beginning, business is that it's that contribution. Business, the skill of business is how we get that out. But I just also feel like too, it's a lot, right? It's really overwhelming for new coaches and even existing coaches who are learning a new skill set. And then like from all of the done for you programs I've created, they take hundreds of
It
hours
took a
I've
long time.
spent building these
Yes.
programs. And to me, I'm like, I know they work. So why reinvent the wheel? But what we have done in our level 2 of our holistic nutrition weight loss coach certification is we have a done for you 8-week holistic weight loss group coaching program. So once you've taken certification, you learn all the coaching tools. Now you've got this container to take your clients through. And
From day
again, you
one.
can hold 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, however many people you want in it. But what we also teach in that too is we teach how to create your specific offer. So we have students who are in there or graduates who are in there who have, for example, they want to coach women who are menopausal. So how do we create an offer utilizing this group coaching program? So not just like, oh, I have a weight loss program. How does it
Yeah.
become exciting to your audience? Same program, tweak it with a few different tweaks to then be focused on, okay, this is for postpartum moms. Now, of course, you're going to add in some of your expertise into that, but it's like, so it's not just
It's the
this
framework.
it's not just this one size fits all program. Yes, the way it's built is the same and you can get it up and running really, really fast. One of our students, she's made over $35,000 running this program. We've had another student who got 5 clients within a week, never coached a client before in her life because again, she's been able to utilize it for her audience, right? But the purpose of the done for you coaching programs, yeah, it's just to give you the confidence of knowing what it is that you have to coach week to week and how to take people through a journey of an 8-week weight loss transformation. And then again, the last thing I'm going to say about this, so leveraging done for you programs is my third thing. In addition to that, done for you challenges because they build your audience. Your main moneymaker is your program. Challenges build your audiences. You get done for you resources, which we also offer to build freebies to build your audience, right? You've got all these things that bring revenue and new people into your world. And then the last thing, and now I'm drawing blank. What was I just going to say? It was a good one.
I don't
The done
know.
for you programs. We have all of the things that you need. You got to talk for a minute because I'm going to draw a blank here.
We have the done for you challenges. We have everything. Well, I mean, I'll just add on to what you were saying just about like the challenges too. Cause like I think the challenges are different. And a lot of times people don't really know the differences between the two, right? So there's like a done for you program. The done for you program is like a model that you can just replicate over and over again. You can customize, but you can use this model. And you use this becomes like your main offer or your signature program. The challenges are things that you can run with your current clients, but you can also use it as a tool to bring new clients into your world as like a lead magnet. Everyone has probably heard of that. Like maybe you've heard of that, where it's like a lead generational tool, something to bring new leads into your business. This is a really great challenges. I always think of them as like it's like the stepping stone that some people need. Some people are not ready to make the commitment of like an 8-week program, but they are ready to try something. And so, like a smaller challenge, like a 14-day or a 28-day challenge, which are some of the challenges we offer in our program, that they're like the greatest, like little mini stepping stone for the client to be able to see number one, that they click with you, that they like, know, and trust you. It builds that whole communication, but also that they can trust themselves. Some people aren't ready to make the commitment of a bigger program because they're not really ready to like financially invest in themselves or from a commitment side commit to themselves because they're not sure that they're actually going to show up for themselves. And this just comes from like past experiences of maybe they've taken other programs and it hasn't worked out for them and they haven't gotten the results that they wanted, or they didn't feel like they were able to commit because it wasn't the right fit for them. So this is a really great way for you to kind of give them a stepping stone to help them build the confidence in themselves. And then the other piece with the done for you resources, it's like having done for you resources, it's just that's like the game changer for like when it comes to like social media and all the things where you're like, I don't know what to post. I don't have anything to put out there into the world. Like I don't want to just share a picture of my lunch again. Instead, you could be like, oh, here's a really great like top swaps guide, or here's a really great like infograph on what happens when you eat sugar in the body or whatever. I'm just using these as examples, but like when you have that kind of information, it's actually like high value content that then gets people really interested in what you have to say. And they really start believing who you are as a coach and that you are the right person for them to hire. So I think all of these, that's sort of like the differences between all of the pieces.
Well, I remember what I was going to say now. Thank you for
Perfect.
talking. But
No, that's okay. I
but I
wanted to
also
share
think
that
the one
anyways.
thing I just want to say too about the resources, I also think that, you know, as a coach, we also have to remember too, your brand is a direct reflection. So what your branding looks like of of you. So you want to have professional looking resources. Also, people will be more likely, and I know that a lot of people say, oh, you can just throw it up in a Google Word doc, it doesn't matter. People are more likely to take you seriously if you have higher level branding. So all of our Done For You programs too are also designed by a professional graphic designer. We partnered with a studio to help design all of these. So these are not templates you're going to find anywhere else, right? They're all beautifully designed, but it does make a difference to up level what you could charge, up level the way you present yourself. And those resources too, your clients are like, oh, I need some ideas for protein. You have a gorgeous checklist to give to them as opposed to just being like, oh, I'll write it in an email for you. You know what I mean? Like it just is a different level where you're playing at a different level. The
Mhm.
last thing I was going to say, so this is what I was going to say about the Done For You programs when I lost my train of thought. The final fourth thing is repeatable programs, which is the purpose of these Done For You programs. They're not a one and done. These are things that you
Mhm.
put effort into once and you can repeat them over and over and over again. So for Amanda and I, one of the three big things that we focused on that made us so successful in our business was number one, group coaching over one-to-one. We always focused on getting people into group coaching programs. We would run some one-to-one here and there before, but that was our main focus. How do we get a group coaching program? Because you make more money in the same amount of time and you could service more clients, which
Right.
is why, again, we did an 8-week group coaching program for our graduates. So group coaching, same thing with the challenges. Can I run them in a group, right? All of these things are group. So we're trying to do that. The second thing that we did that was very different was we did things that were repeatable. So 8-week program, you can launch an 8-week program, then run your next 8-week program is ready to go right afterwards. Then your next 8-week program. So you don't have to keep coming up with new programs and new challenges. This is your signature program and you run it every 8 weeks. So you know for the year
Yeah.
what you're doing, and then you just slot in your challenges as again, I'm trying to add more people into my world or to engage your current clients with something different, right? And we have a bunch of Done For You challenges: sugar detox challenge, 28-day total body cleanup challenge, 10K steps challenge, like all this stuff that we have at FitChicks Academy. So we did the group coaching programs, the things that we can repeat over and over again. And the last thing that we did was we created it in a way that was not going to burn us out. So, which goes back
Mhm.
into the whole thing of when you are thinking about growing a business, you have to really protect your own energy and your ability to give because when you're coaching one to one and you're constantly thinking about growing your business, going back to point number one of the thoughts, it will feel exhausting. So, if you can have programs that are set up that will allow you to free up a lot of your energy to then focus on the things you need to do, like service your clients really, really well, as opposed to like, okay, I've got to, now I did week one, I don't know what to send them for week two, or should I do a workshop here? How do I keep, no one's responding to my emails? What do I do? Like having that all laid out. So then you can just show up and coach and then also try to go find new clients. And that to me is, I think, what really made us different. We never got into the loop of just trying to hustle for that one to one. It was always like, how do we set up something that we can do over, like we'll put in the effort up front and then we can do it over and over and over again. So we're not burning out. And also then we can expand and get more clients. So
Mhm.
that's our chat about the business of holistic weight loss coaching. I hope this was helpful. So the first thing is look at your thoughts. You've got to look at what you're thinking. The second thing is look at your current situation. What do you have? If you're expecting to make, $100,000 in like your first launch, it usually doesn't happen. But how can you get those first 10 clients? The third is leveraging Done For You programs and Done For You challenges. And the fourth is repeating that. So don't keep on trying to reinvent the wheel. Get the done for you programs, then run them again and again and again. And then you just know every time you're focused on getting more and more clients, more and more clients.
Yeah.
And then you
I'm
don't
glad you
burn out.
remembered that last point.
Yeah.
Because it's a good one. It's
I
so
knew it was
true.
a good one. I was like, this is what
Yeah.
usually I can pull it back around, but I think because I've been sick, I'm like, my brain just is when it loses a thought, I'm like, where did
A
that
little
go? It's in there
foggy.
somewhere. It's coming back to
It's
me.
a little foggy.
Okay, everybody. So that was our podcast for today. Hopefully, this was helpful. And of course, if you are looking to get certified in holistic nutrition and weight loss coaching, we have our next certification. It is 8 weeks long. It starts on March 4th. You can get more information at fitchicksacademy.com/HWLC. We also have some incredible events that are coming up shortly. So we'll be sharing more about that. And of course, in there too, not only will you get certified, but you also in our level 2 option get access to the business coaching, all the done for you programs, and really putting what we talked about today into action. So we hope to see you guys there. And again, too, on the podcast, if there's anything that you have feedback about, questions about, email us at info@fitchicks.ca. We love to hear from you guys. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.